Good morning, Lafayette. I'm your meteorologist, Brian Burden, here with your forecast on what is looking to be a spectacular day. I didn't want to put spectacular on there because I didn't know if I could spell it. I know there's spell check. Stop it. All right. But it does look like it's going to be a really nice day here in Lafayette. Maybe, dare I say, near perfect. They don't want to get that far into it, but it does look like it's going to be a really, really nice day to get some things done. Good temperatures. It looks like you're going to be talking about very little, if any, clouds in the sky. I'm sure we'll start to see some Q in the afternoon, maybe even late this morning. But generally speaking, a very nice day on tap for a lot of us. And I just really think it's going to be one of those days where we go, wow, God is great. Is he not? Is he not? Yeah, that's the way I look at it anyway. Let's take a look at what we're looking at, though. Currently outside right now, 49 degrees is now 51. It updated just in the last 3 seconds, basically. Went from 49 to 51. There you go. Looking at a high somewhere around 70 today. I think we'll hit that 70 mark, especially with all the abundant sunshine out there. It's going to warm that ground up pretty well. Good day again to get some crops in, to get them in before any more rains come later in the week. And there is some rain in the forecast for the week as we go on. But as for today, 51, it just shows a big old sun, but I'm sure we'll see a couple clouds here or there, right? Always. Unrestricted visibility, winds out of the north, well, we'll call it west-northwest at 4 miles an hour. Just barely a breath out there. That is about it for right now. That looks really, really nice. If you look at their kind of daily thing where you can watch their scan, look at that. No clouds, the moon, just a little clouds by tomorrow morning. But we also start to pick up chances of rain for tomorrow, especially somewhere middle of the day, I think. Woo, I'm already yawning. Maybe it's because it's going to be such a boring day. Yep, nope. There we go. All right, so hopefully you will get out and you will get a chance to enjoy it. Let's go straight to the satellite picture. There's just not a ton to talk about, at least for today. We do have some forecasted ideas and things to talk about over the next couple of days. But today, look at this. Lafayette's right about here, right? All the clouds are out to our east. All the clouds are way out to our west. Illinois to Missouri, you can almost go to Kansas City before you'd find a cloud in the sky, and that's always good news for us, usually anyway, so to speak. The big low, remember the low 2 days ago was in Louisiana, Arkansas. Then yesterday cut across to the Carolinas and is now moving itself up the Gulf Stream right into the Atlantic and kind of merging with the low that kind of dove on us. And then we're gonna create this superstorm, but it's gonna be over Greenland, I think, by the time it gets there. All right, still big storm out there. Looking pretty powerful. We've got some animated, I guess you'd call it, low pressure system in the northern Rockies. This is what will be for us for tomorrow, I think. I haven't even looked at the charts. I'm yawning now. I just thought about it and I yawned. That's not good, right? And a lot of clouds coming off the backside of the Rocky Mountains. You see them coming off pretty easy. And even a little Pineapple Express coming up through Mexico, not into Southern California, but into Mexico. Florida, if you're going to Orlando, woo, look at that. Beautiful. Just a couple clouds here or there, and that is it. So generally speaking, everybody high and dry. Let's see what the visible looks like. We start to see the old beautiful United States opening itself up to be seen visually as the sun comes across. And again, Indiana right here, Lafayette right about there, looking great on this map right now. And it just does look like it's going to be one of those days where I think you can get outside and you can get just about anything done because it won't be overly hot, but it's not going to be cold either. It's just going to warm up nicely into the afternoon. Definitely a slingshot day, I think, today, because I may run to the store and get me some grapes, basically, because I ate them all. That's why. And a chance to get out. Could there be a cosmic brownie in my future? It's possible, but I've been getting away from them a little bit more, and I need to do that because of all the weight I put on after I stopped the shot when it was giving me tingling in my fingers and toes. So I've put on about 65 pounds since I stopped the shot. Now I'm down 65. So you think you'd be like, oh, that's great. But because I had gotten so low, I'm kind of bummed I'm not back down there. So hopefully We'll get the medicine straight in the next month, and we figure out what's going on with me, and maybe I'll start dropping a little bit of that weight instead of putting it back on. And maybe I'll stop eating Cosmic Brownie. Woo! That's three. 3 yawns. I haven't even been on the air 6 minutes. All right. Does that mean it's going to be a boring forecast? It could be. It could be. Let's zoom in a little closer. Real close to Lafayette. There you go. You have it. There's your visual shot coming off of the lake. Looks really nice. I like to use this one, the day cloud phase. Puts it in blues. I pick it up pretty easy. See how I see the ground real easy on that? Even though it's got a little blue tinge to it. But it looks really nice. I can pick up the low clouds real easy over by Toledo and Fort Wayne. There were some clouds this morning. But for us, high and dry, and that drove our temperature down. And did we get to, 38, 40? Where were we last night? Well, it looks like we hit 40 this morning. Locally, I'm sure we saw some spots where it was 38. Not cold enough for frost, and there was enough cloud cover over here. I think they probably stayed away from it there. But Michigan definitely saw some frost, and southern Wisconsin, which is where we saw most of it yesterday when it showed up on the maps of what we would be looking at. All right, so high and dry. That's number 4. That's number 4. Man, what is wrong with me this morning? I need to get some water and get myself going. I know what it is. No Diet Dew. Haven't had any in almost 24 hours. That's a pretty hard thing for me to do. All right, so let me take a look at this. Let's go out and see just a couple where some of the pictures are around the area, right? We got to see what's going on. Yesterday, there was a bunch of snowplows out. So the snowplows been out doing, I don't know if they're doing road work or if they got cameras still on the trucks or if they were just out doing some. I'm thinking Tuesdays. Yesterday was Wednesday, but the day before was Tuesday. I think Tuesday was the day we had all the trucks out and about. Training Tuesdays is what it was. Let's just check Fowler first. And car count, 2 today. 2. One's a truck, a small truck, and then another car. There are 2 on the road today. Not much for cloud cover to worry about, at least on that front. We look good there. I'm going to buzz through these pretty quick because we already know what we're seeing, aren't we? Let's take a look at the road construction area near Rensselaer. There's the bridge itself. I think we got to go back a picture. And there's the road construction. Looks pretty clean this morning. Very nice. Lots of sunshine on the ground. Truck heading over. Then we go to the south. There's that beautiful camera shot that we have here at the 231 junction. Now, this is the north junction. And if you don't know how it works, there's 2 spots where 231 hits the interstate because it crosses under, goes north, then it turns and comes west, hits it again, and then turns north again. So it kind of hits twice. So this is the northern junction of 231 right here. Gorgeous morning out there this morning. Very nice picture there in the Remington area with beautiful skies. Not much traffic out this morning. Then I see a lot here on the horizon. Not bad there. Don't see any water in the fields. Good news. Good news. Saw a little dust off of some of the guys that were planting yesterday out in our area here. Looking pretty good there at the southern 231 junction. Then it's down to State Road 18. Looks really nice again. Not like we didn't expect that from these pictures. Be nice. Somebody talk to whoever's running the cameras. State Road 43 needs to be pointed at the sky for the weatherman. State Road 25 looking back to State Road 43 right here to give you a reference of where we are, looking back that direction. Then we come out to State Road 26, and they have zoomed in on the grass today, trying to find something or another. Maybe there was an accident there or somebody broke down on the side of the road, and they'll move the cameras for that kind of thing, I believe. Looking at this, well, you got a trucker on the side of the bridge there. Not the greatest place to park the truck, is it? Right on top of the bridge? I don't know why that is, because maybe he can only get it to there. Just feels like it might come through. Is that one of those horror movies, disaster movies? The semi crashes through the bridge and then hits the car below and someone's trapped, and then there's this big scene where we get him out. All right, State Road 28. Looking back towards the north here. So they've giving us the view of the spots where water holds in here, and there's nothing there. We've been looking pretty good for a few days down there now, so not bad. And then looking back towards the huge metropolis of Frankfort, and you see nothing. Coming back to Lafayette, Taking a look at the cameras over on the west side of town, up by the Walmart, looking back towards the north down Sagamore Parkway. We see a beautiful morning there. Then we come down to the airport, and they're still pointed just at the ground. River Road looks really nice. A lot of traffic this morning there. Seems like the last few days there hasn't been hardly anybody when we check the cameras. Looking pretty good. Then you run over to the mall. It's not too bad. We got to get one more location or two to look at. Let's go over to this Covington one. Yeah, the Covington one, it looks back towards the sun a little bit, but you can see pretty nice over in that neck of the woods for those people over there. Back to us, there's the satellite picture. We look high and dry. So we didn't see anything on the cameras that interested us. Let's get into the actual weather. Let's see where everything is at. And what's the first thing you notice on here? I notice a big blue high, means big blue sky, right? That's the saying. I don't know where I picked it up, but that is correct right there. So you got the cloud cover over here with the exiting system, right? You got the high right here in the center. Beautiful. We know we don't have any clouds all the way over to Kansas. Then you have the next system ramping up out here. If you'd even call it. Nothing's organized at the moment. We see some scattered showers that should be up in the South Dakota area. That is about it, and that's probably where our weather is going to be coming from. If I have a gather to remember what we saw yesterday when we were talking about it. All right, so here's this is 13Z. This is just a 12Z run, so I'm going to change runs. I'm going to go back to the 06 because I have more data on it. And it does show, like, the potential for today, right now, at this point. Same thing, big high, right? Big high, nothing's changed right here. Does show some scattered showers, though, potential. And when I think that, I think warm front is what I think, right? Because I'm seeing all this flow coming up from the south. Look at that. All of it's going north, 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 north. So there's going to be some kind of heat pocket here, right? Of something coming this way. And on this side, it's going to be cooler, right? And we had a cool morning. And then underneath, we're kind of just muddling around in the middle. A little bit of cool, a little bit of warm, that kind of thing. We've got a dead flow today as the high goes across us, which is good. If you don't like wind and the temperature gets up to like 70, it's going to be very comfortable. It's going to be a nice day. I tried sitting out on the porch last night, and it was a little too windy out there and was chilly. So did not do that. All right. Okay, so let's continue on, though. What does it do? Well, we see the rain kind of fall and fizzle apart as we go through the afternoon here. Here we are like 1 o'clock, and here's 2 o'clock. The high is still here over us, and we still see the flow. Nothing's changed. Nothing's jumping out at us saying, hey, look out, here comes some rain anytime soon. We see the high still right here. Right, so it's a slow progression, but we do start to see the southerly flow and the southwesterly flow coming towards us, right, with our high right here by the time we get into this evening. So this is 6 o'clock right here, and we have some scattered showers way up to the north into Minnesota and western Iowa. That's the closest thing to us by that point. And this high is controlling everything right now, especially for us and for states like Illinois and Missouri and Iowa and Wisconsin. And then, of course, Michigan, and now Michigan, Ohio, and Kentucky and Tennessee are grabbing on, too, to the beautiful high pressure system as it moves through. So now it's going to go through. And what's it going to do? Well, it's going to still create some really nice weather overnight tonight. But then look what happens. We never really get into a good southerly flow. We try to pick up a little bit of it by midnight tonight, right? But what we're seeing is those scattered showers are starting to build and get a little bit bigger. And then that pocket gets bigger on its own, and you can follow it. There's a low right here, right? There's some kind of low up in Canada, up here just off the chart, and you could probably swing a cold front through here, then make it go stationary, and then over here, this is kind of a warm front, warm sector right in here, right? Maybe there's a low trying to develop along there, so it's kind of like that. So it's a disorganized. It's not your daddies. That's what I like to call your daddies, a big dad, because dads are big. They're big and strong, right? That's why we call it your daddy's storm. And then here comes the rain, though, for tomorrow. And this is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And this big batch has shifted slightly. Yesterday, it was kind of more like here for tomorrow. Now it's a little bit farther south, but we're filling in some rain to the north up here a little bit with it. Lafayette's right here, okay? So That's where Lafayette is, and you can see that the rain is not very far away. Now, is it going to do the old Lafayette split on us? Let's see what happens. It's trying. It's trying. Most of the heavy rain is going to go to the south of us. Looks more like Terre Haute and even all the way down to Evansville, right? And for us right here, we're kind of out of the mix right now at this point, and just a scattered shower potential there on that. So let's see how it goes through the afternoon. And then the afternoon, same thing. It's just isolated chance for rain. Most of the rain is south of us. Now, something that's 100 miles long, 150 miles long, and the same thing this way, but it's all moving in this direction. It's going to be hard to press to find the northern edge. The northern edge could be up here, and it might be something like this, right? Or it might be even farther south, and it might be something like this. And the model will only be like 20 miles off, right? It's only going to be 20 miles off at all. So it's something to keep in mind about this rain tomorrow, because it's a small batch. It's not a big system like we can see that we know we're going to get it there. That rain is a possibility of a miss for tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But then it just kind of goes through, right? So if you got ball games tomorrow night, you look great. Here's 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Into the evening hours, we're looking really nice, okay? And then we get into Saturday morning, and we still look pretty good, but we're starting to see some rain on the pane out there. Unfortunately, our forecast for the weddings does not look good for outdoor weddings, because I believe this stuff right here is going to develop and come towards us, right? I started jokingly talking about this Saturday being a great day for us for weddings like a week and a half ago, and we wanted to see if it was going to get there. And up until yesterday, it still looked like it was going to be really nice. Then yesterday, the model changed and started bringing in some of this rain for us potentially there. All right, so let's zoom in closer. I want to go back and check how close that rain is, so you can see how close the rain is on us. So here, it's kind of disorganized. You got this up here, right, and you got some of this here. And then you got nothing in between but very isolated, scattered showers. And then as it comes towards us, this is tomorrow at 4 in the morning, all right? So Friday morning, 4 in the morning. Then it comes closer, Where is it by noon? Okay, so noon, 12Z, but this is 8 o'clock in the morning, right? So we're a little more organized on the southern part, a couple showers and thunderstorms there, and we have a big bright spot where there's heavy rain, with Lafayette being right here. But we're just in this spot. We're in this open area, aren't we? And with the old Lafayette bubble gets us again, we could use just a little bit of rain from this system. So we'll see what the new run, maybe the new run brings it back to the north and we miss out on it, all right? Temperature-wise, what's it going to do for us? Well, let's see what we're going to get out of this bad boy. We already know where we're at right now this morning, right? Still 51. Oh, update again, 53. Rapidly changing this morning, on its way to close to 70 today. There's your satellite picture, which shows us a little to nothing for Lafayette. It's very quiet. That's a visual shot right there. And we're back to the model. Okay, so what does it say at 10 o'clock? It says 54 degrees. A northerly wind if there's anything, right? We know the high is right here, right? And it's kind of slowly going this direction. And it's slowly going to allow the warmer air to come up to our west. But until the high is like over by the state line over here, we're not going to shift our winds around right away, all right? It's going to be a couple hours at least. So let's see. Here we are at 10. We have a northerly wind. It's 54. And still a northerly wind at 11. There we are at noon. Northerly 59. The only reason we're staying as cool as we are is because of the sun, is because of the winds coming out of the north. Now, the sun is beating on the ground here, trying to warm it up. And when it does that, it generally is going to, we'll see the temperature slowly rise at the very least, even with a northerly wind. And that's kind of what the model's showing today. Let's see where it kind of wants to top out. 65, 67, 68, which is kind of what I was expecting, 68. But I can just see enough. See, it still has us kind of out of the northwest at 6 o'clock this evening. All right, 6 o'clock this evening. So the sun is still beating down on the ground. We know that, right? We've probably seen a few clouds here or there, but nothing major. And the southerly flow is still in central Illinois, unfortunately. See that? That's where your first little wind barbs are starting to go north. All right. And that's where the flow of the warmth is by that point. So you're not getting to it. We're not getting to it, at least by this, as the day goes on. and then the high goes on, and we start to shift southerly overnight, and we stay fairly warm, right? This time of the year, we should be right about 50. Let's see here. My temperature numbers fell off, all right? My cheat sheet was sitting there. Oh! All right, guys, I'm still here. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I lost my screen because I was messing around. Why won't it come back on? All I did was hit it with my finger. That's all I did. All right, what's wrong? There it is. Woohoo! I don't know if I lost you guys or not. That's going to be pretty funny. That's pretty funny. All I did, I hit it with my finger. I rolled over, was trying to move a different number, and and I lost everything. All right. Well, you're going to have one of those snafus somewhere, right? As we used to say in the military. All right, so overnight tonight, we get back down to around 50, but we should be on average right at 50, so we're not far off from the norm. And the norm is 72 for the high, so we're going to try to scratch our way up to 70 today. 68 looks pretty plausible. I'm going to go with 70 because I think there'll be more sun. Yesterday, the model was almost dead on. I think it went 60. What was the high yesterday? The high yesterday was, I think we were really close to it. But remember, the high yesterday came at like 1 in the morning, and the low came at 11 o'clock last night for your highs and lows yesterday. A little deceiving. But we did get down to that 40 mark this morning, right? And it said, I think, 38 is what it showed for this morning. All right, so here we are. I'm going through tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, so you got a low of 45. So it's slightly below normal. Nothing major there. We're close to normal today for our high. What about tomorrow? Well, I see a pocket, right? Now, this is 17Z, so now we're talking 1 o'clock in the afternoon, right? And I can see a lot of warm air has gotten way up to the north, but I see this nose of cold air, right? Which is right where the rain is, right? That's that pocket of rain coming through and not allowing us to warm up much tomorrow. And then we rebound pretty quickly afterwards. Look at that. 72 for tomorrow afternoon right there. So we got a couple hours of warmth after the rain goes through, and we warm up to like 72. So ball games tomorrow evening. Very nice, right? Right here is, what is this, 9 o'clock? So it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So most of the rain is gone by, mid-afternoon if it hits us. And then we warm up pretty nicely. And there's a lot of hot air out here. Look at this. Look at this. They're into the 80s all the way into Wisconsin. And you even got a pocket of 90s right down here into Missouri. I did not realize Missouri's that hot until you really start paying attention to things sometimes. And for some reason, I knew they were warmer, but it just seems pretty warm there a lot. And that's where, because of this chart right here, because I see the edges of Missouri all the time, I see where the warmth is coming from. All right, and then it goes out temperature-wise and doesn't give us much of a help other than we see a southerly flow for Saturday, right? And then Saturday, we're going to have to see where all the rain is going to be coming in, if there's any rain in there. And I think what we'll do is, let's take a look at the winds real quick here, wind gusts. Are we going to see any real bad wind gusts through this system? Okay, so you can see the high, right? The high is right here. There's like hardly no wind under the high at all. Comes across us. It's kind of fighting, but here we are like 4 o'clock this afternoon, and there's just like no wind. It's dead, right? The high is trying to move across. Look at that. There it is overnight. There's nothing. Here we are at 10 o'clock tonight, and we've got 3 knots of wind in Lafayette. There's nothing really to worry about. And these are supposed to be gusts. So you're basically calm, right, as the high goes over us tonight and later this afternoon. Stays very light during the day tomorrow. Look at this. Here we are tomorrow morning. Now we're out till 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And we still only have 11 knots of wind, maybe even 15 if you go to Crawfordsville. But there's a big pocket of the wind right there that you can see. Does that press towards us on tomorrow? It sure does. We start to pick up the wind, but it comes in southerly. And this is all because of this batch of rain trying to move through. It's got its own wind with it, basically. But we see a strong southerly flow starting to pick up. You see all the length of these arrows, right? On this one, these aren't wind barbs. These are wind, What is the name of them? I cannot think of the name of them off the top of my head. But they give you the direction, and then the length tells you how fast they are, right? How fast the speed is. Then, of course, it's color coordinated too, and it gives you gusts on here. So it has a little bit of everything for wind. So tomorrow afternoon gets a little windy, right? And then pretty calm overnight Saturday night, and then picking back up by the morning hours on Saturday morning as the next little system tries to come in and bump into our area. All right, so let's check the NAM nest out and go out back to precipitation. I'm going to go back here to winter precipitation. Boom. There we go. Precip type, and then I'm going to switch over to the NAM nest. Okay, the North American model and its structure. Let's see what it does with the rain. Did you see that? Looks a little more prominent tomorrow. Tomorrow. Thinking tomorrow. And there's more on the northern edge of this, right? What less, the gap is more up over Lake Michigan now in this as it comes through tomorrow and then presses through. And it also keeps it in longer. That's that ugly looking gray cloud, sprinkly, kind of just drizzly feel is what that looks like to me. Scattered shower possible in there. But that's most of the rain is done by about there. That's 18Z, which is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3, 4, 5, clearing out for ball games tomorrow night on a Friday night. Not bad. And then as we head towards Saturday, what do? Where's the rain coming? This time it's coming scattered light showers in the early morning hours on Saturday and some developing storms on Saturday. Now we're at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so most of them are going to get through, but I still see just spotty areas where clouds could come through and maybe give us a shower or two, something along those lines, right? And then when we go out to the long range GFS, we can't see much. We got change up back to our big picture. And what's it showing us for Saturday? Unfortunately, it's muddled. That's the word, muddled. I see rain there, not much, but it was so nice. You know what really had happened was the high was supposed to come over Friday and Saturday. And instead it came over Thursday and Friday, right? Pushing towards Friday from 2 weeks ago when we first started this. So the timing just changed on it, and it pushed it off. But here we are Saturday. It looks a little more rainy there in the picture. And from here now, I've got a low developing out here in Kansas. I can see a distinct warm front. I know there's a cold front here, and then probably in between, might even be up here, like here. There's a stationary front right in here, right? So cold, stationary, warm, like that, right? So all your warmth is coming up here. But unfortunately, these little lows pop along the system. So if you drew your front in like that, you're thinking, well, the weather's going to be north. Well, north of the warm front, but south of the cold front and stationary front is where the rain happens to be on this. And as a matter of fact, maybe where it's stationary, you got rain on both sides of the front. Okay, so that is Saturday night, 11 o'clock Saturday night with some rain coming in. And that lingers through Sunday. Now, let's see if we can get a good feel. Now, see, the low is still out here. It's another low, right? But I can see the big bulge up to the north now. All right, so what's this going to do? This is one big time we can tell we're going to warm up for Sunday and Monday, and into Tuesday, it's going to start getting warmer and warmer and warmer. So today, a comfy, 68 to 70. Tomorrow, more of the same, 70 to 71, but it's mainly got some rain in the middle of the day to kind of ruin things. And then, boom, Saturday, we're almost to 80 degrees as we rebound from some of the scattered showers in and out of the area, it looks like. And then Sunday, it's real hot. Now we're probably going to be in the 80s. You can see this right here. You can see the isobars on the chart here, and the direction is giving us a general flow of the wind. We can see we could arc a warm front easily through here to about here, and then it becomes stationary right there. So this whole sector is starting to go north, right? And then you've got a lot of hot air that will be bottled up right here. Now, hot air for May, not hot air for August, where you might see, 95, but we still are going to be in the mid-80s, I would think, with this for sure. Low to mid-80s on Sunday. Bam, very nice. So you go to church on Sunday morning, 12Z, It shows maybe an isolated scattered shower there. This is 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, which is 12Z. And then we move through, the day clears out nicely. It looks pretty good. There we are on Monday morning. Not much happening. We still got this huge southwest flow. We've got a low here. We can see where there's a frontal boundary to another low up here, right? So there's some kind of warm sector here. There's some kind of sector going to the north here, and we're caught in the warm. The warm air is right here, all right, which is, for a lot of you, you're happy about that. There's nothing wrong with that, right? And the high for let's see, what is Monday? Monday is the 18th. Should be about 75 degrees. So we're going to be above that, I would think, by this nomenclature here and seeing where the isobars are. And then we have some scattered showers that come through Monday evening. And then we start to get at least something that looks kind of like my daddy's storm. I can draw in a low up to the north, a sagging cold front, a warm front out in the sector in front. Now, this could be 2 or 3 different lows. This could be the low that just formed, right, and could be like that, or it could be more of an occlusion like this, right, with a cold front behind it and the warm front in here. You can't always tell exactly where things are when you're looking at just the isobars, but it gives me a good indication that there's something there. And then there's a high back here, all right, so that's where you get. And you still have the southwesterly warm flow. This is Tuesday early morning, like at 5 in the morning here, all right. And then it kind of washes through Tuesday, and then there's another big high starting to set up for us right here. Big old high, and this is Tuesday night. This is 11 o'clock Tuesday night, and the high is starting to control the area for probably Wednesday and Thursday, right? There it goes by Wednesday. All right, now we're at Wednesday afternoon, and everything has been nice and dry, and everything's going around the high, right? And then we start to see, will the influence come in for Thursday and get us, which is what, the 21st of May, and it does look like some showers and rain will be coming into the picture. Now, the timing's going to be hard on this. You got a low here, and you've got like a disheveled frontal system here, and maybe a cold front with a warm front attached to it there. So this one's going to be, timing on this for next week is going to be rough for Thursday. And then Thursday, there we go, Friday, look at, that's the big day. You can see where it's a little more organized here, right there especially. You got a low here. It looks like there's another low, but maybe there's a warm front wrapping down, that kind of thing. So that's where you're talking your systems at around the low. That goes through, and then another high, but this high is up to the north, and it's ridging down here. You remember ridging yesterday? We talked about ridging. The high is way up into Canada, but it's ridging all the way down, and there could be a secondary high popping off right here, which is very possible for next Friday, the 22nd of May. It's going to be colder, though, right? We had the warmth, now the high. Where's the flow from the high? It's going to be coming from the north, so it's going to be colder for a few days. And then that goes by, and it takes till Sunday. Sunday, the 24th, as we're getting into that, looks pretty nice. We see the high over here now, and we're starting to return the flow back from the south, and this will start to warm us up. It's going to be really warm out here, I would think, and then for us, we'll just be in between somewhere on next Sunday, the 24th. And then it goes on, highs in control for a little while there. Here we are. It goes through Monday, and we look really good on Monday, the 25th. And I would see some rebounding in the temperatures back to near normal probably on that day, which is somewhere in the low 70s to mid 70s. And then here we go. There's a little bit of a system on Tuesday, May 26th. It looks like there could be some rain stuck in here, right in this area here. Now, this is Wednesday the 27th, so we're near the end of the month, and we've seen a bit of rain off and on. Nothing out of the ordinary, though. No big system setting up. I see a lot of this, scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms in and out. No big severe weather makers. Look at this. Now we're setting up west to east right here. And then when we do that, we get into, this is 2.5 weeks out. Now we're talking Saturday, so two weeks and 2 days out. It's a long ways out there. A lot of different systems coming through. But what I see is kind of more of a hot period. So we're cold today. We're going to get warm. Then we're going to chill off again for middle of next week. And then I think we'll probably start to pick back up by the next weekend, and we get warm again for a while, it looks like, and then we'll cool off right at the end of the month again, possibly. We'll have to see how that does. This will be very questionable the last few days of this because of the difference of where the rain's at. It's all over the place around us at that point. So that could dictate your temperatures pretty easily during that time frame. It won't be hard to be very warm or very cold on a specific day. Okay, so let's look. We can kind of see where we're at here. That's the last day of the month. And you can see that early morning hours, we're at 65 degrees, so a pretty warm day there. But let's go back to where we are now, all right, setting up the next couple of days. We know where we're at today. We're setting up good. Now let's start to look at Saturday morning. You're heading off to church Saturday morning, 16 southerly flow, right? And southwesterly winds are starting to come in. We can see a pocket of warmth starting to set up all the way through that flow that's there, right? Very nice flow. And then as we move into Saturday, look at what happens by Saturday afternoon, right? So there we are at 21Z is roughly the warmest time of the day, right? Which is about 5 o'clock in the afternoon this time of the year. And that's 76 degrees, so a very nice Saturday temperature-wise. Whether we dodge the showers or not, it's going to be hard to say, but look at this pocket of hot out here. And those are triple digits right there that you're seeing, yes. Triple-digit weather. All that weather's trying to go up this way. Everything out in front of it's trying to start to go this way. We're starting to see winds splitting, right? And we're seeing the difference. And up here, we've got a flow going this way, and then we've got a flow going this way. And and up here, we've got a flow going like that. And up here, we've got a flow going like this. So that's the kind of oddities you'll get. You'll get some kind of weird stationary front. Then here, a pretty distinct warm front going in, and you can see where the pocket of the warmth is right there. And you can extend it all the way out to us, at least by that point on Saturday. All right. So let's go farther out. Saturday, it looks pretty warm, too, in our mornings. A lot of 60s here I see on Sunday morning going to church, 65 this Sunday morning, getting all the way up to what? Well, looks like maybe low 80s. Pocket of something over us. Is that rain that we were looking for on Sunday? Yeah, there's some scattered intermittent rains in there, but we may get it all the way up to like low 80s by the time the end of the day comes, depending on the pocket, because you can see the pocket of 80s goes way up into here, right? And it's kind of like that. So not too bad at all. But the pocket of hundreds, starting to stretch its way almost to Minnesota. Man, Nebraska, 92, 101, and in central Kansas, going to be warm out there. All right, I'm sure that's going to modify a little bit. We'll probably see 95 for highs. When I see really, really crazy off the number charts, then we got to do the opposite of bumping. We come down a little bit, right? When it's warm like that. All right, Monday morning, heading back to school, 65 degrees in the morning, looks really nice. A nice southerly flow kicking through here. But the temperatures don't look too bad in the early morning hours. How do they rebound on Monday for us, though? I think we got more scattered rains coming. You can kind of see blots of temperature where it drops where the rain is, right? So Monday afternoon, it shows a high somewhere around 80 degrees. Now, does it pop above that for a little bit and then come down? Yeah, it does. See how we're right at 79. That's Lafayette right there. And then it comes down in this 3-hour period. It comes down. So I'm going to go in closer so we can see those numbers easier. See the 79 there? That is at 2 in the afternoon. And then at 5 in the afternoon, when it's usually the highest, it drops to 78. So we've got an influence of the rain that's coming in from that direction on those during that time frame. All right. So then we go out Monday to Tuesday morning. Say you've got something going on Tuesday morning or you're heading to work. It's nice and pleasant. 71 degrees. Wow, very nice weather on Tuesday, the 19th of May. All right, the 19th of May. And I've got written down here the high temperature should be about 75 degrees and low 52 on the average. And we're going to be 71 in the morning. That morning, it's going to be warm. All right, so what kind of high do we get up to on Tuesday? 73, and then boom. Oh, nothing, right? Rain is coming in on Tuesday next week. on the 19th. You can see that. You can pinpoint it maybe Sunday in the morning and sun in the afternoon. Actually, we have a couple days like that, I think, in a row. Monday and Tuesday both looked about the same. And then Wednesday morning, kind of down. Let's see what kind of trends we have here. All right, so there's a pocket of where's the warmth? When's the warmth going to return? We got those 80s, and everybody was like, wow, this is great. But now we drop back down to seasonable to below seasonable temperatures. Where'd all those temperatures go? All right, so here we are by Wednesday next week, and we've dropped off. This is the 20th of May, right? And now we've got a high that's, again, dictated by the rain. Looks like we got an east wind. The high is right here trying to pass by us by that point. And then we start to warm up a little bit. By Thursday, we got a high that's back to near normal or near 70 degrees. And then maybe next Friday we start to warm up again real hot. Nope. Something comes draping through, knocks our temperatures down for a little bit again. Looks like it's going to be a bit longer. So this longer stretch of temperatures near normal to just below normal goes pretty good late next weekend. And we even see we're back in the low 40s there, possibly next Saturday morning. But we'll keep an eye on that. When does there a return back to real warm weather? Well, then Saturdays and Sundays, it looks like next week. The high temperature next Saturday is not good, 65 degrees, with our normal high being 75. So we're going to be 10 degrees below normal. But you see how quickly everything moves and changes and adjusts in the month of May. You start the month off and your average high temperature is like 64. And by the end of the month, you're at like 81. 80, 81 is your high. So it's a big jump in temperatures. And we're seeing a couple of those warmer spells. But it looks like it's going to be, look at that, 25th, 24th looks good, 25th, not bad. At seasonable temperatures. And then here we go. The 26th, we start to warm back up a little bit. We see a pocket here, but we're not seeing any of this intense heat out here, are we? Like we saw earlier in the month, back Saturday and Sunday this week. All right, so then we get out. Now we're almost 2 weeks out, and we start to see a little more of a trend of just steady, near steady temperatures. Oh, there's some warmth. May 27th, 2 weeks from now, we start to see another pocket of 80 starting to push itself in. We don't see any 90s. Well, we see 90s here, but no hundreds or that big pocket that we saw in the next few days out to our west for sure. And then a rebound, what do we see on Thursday, May 28th? That looks like mid-80s right there. And by May 28th, we should be somewhere right around 77 for a high. So not bad, really. 85 degrees on that day is a possibility. A pocket of 90s not that far away. So towards the end of the month, we start to warm back up again. Man, what a spell of what we're seeing here. We're going to see, first off, I kind of had to write it down because I want to keep track. I'm losing track of what I'm saying in my head a lot of times. So we're seasonable for the next few days, right? Then we turn a little bit warm for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then we turn back to seasonable or below normal for a while for almost all of next week. Then next weekend, we get a couple of warm days again, right? This is next weekend now, so we're a week and a half out. The 26th. Where are we now? Thursday, Saturday, 26th, right? And then as we approach the end of the month, we start to cool off again right at the end of the month after a few very warm days, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th kind of thing. So we've got some ups and downs, but they're like in 4-day patterns, it seems like right now, right? So at or below normal for 4 days, and then at or above normal for 4 days. Kind of something along those lines is what we're seeing as of the latest, all right? So let's go look at the National Weather Service, at least short term. Is there a chance for any severe weather in here, all right? And I know it's the one that it doesn't do anything unless you get off of the brush on here. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, and I hit the wrong camera, of course. Storm Prediction Center, there we go. Here's today, and you can see where the thunderstorms are centered out in Kansas for today.
What about tomorrow, though, with the band that's coming through? Anything? Not really. Your threat is now in northern Kansas, southern Iowa, northwestern Missouri. We have a threat for a thunderstorm potential tomorrow. And then on, let's see, that's tomorrow. Now Saturday, because now if you take a look at this, the warm front cuts across here. There's a low developing here, a big pocket of severe weather out there. And we're in the general thunderstorm category during that time frame. Probabilistic and then categorical forms as they look at those. That's for that stuff far out. And then usually there's not much to see out past that on that weather front and scheduled on those. Let's go see what Chris's model's showing us and type in Lafayette. And this is my friend Chris Cano's model that he built. He's getting ready to head to Antarctica. Maybe he's watching this morning or not sure. But I know what he's doing. He's probably watching me to get his forecast if he's still over at Grissom. All right, so what I see is a lot of no's in there for any precipitation, right? So this is from Friday. So this is we're on Thursday, right? So here's Thursday. I don't see much for precipitation in there anywhere. No clouds really shown at all until what time is this? This is 4Z. So this would be midnight tonight. We start picking up some clouds. And then we're pretty much overcast for a while come tomorrow morning about 8 o'clock. And then, there's a rain trace. So it's got us in the spot, right? This is the I think, is the model we're using on this, where we just have a chance for some rain for mid-morning tomorrow. This is to the mid-afternoon, right? When we watch that pocket go by. The new should be out here shortly, so we'll go check that out here in just a second. As soon as we're done here, then no rain, no nothing on here. High temperatures, like 72 tomorrow, it says. High temperature today shows 68 for a few hours. If we're going to stay 68 for a couple hours there, we might hit 69 or 70 in between there pretty easily, especially with no clouds, with hardly any clouds out. All right, so that's where we are, at least on that front. Now let's go back and take a look at satellite picture. It looks gorgeous. We already talked about that a little bit. And then let's go back to our regular weather, and we want to go back to College of DuPage page. Let's see what the new run is almost totally in. And we're going to go in close. We're going to see what precipitation looks like on this. It's going to have most of the 48 hours in it. Of course, we have a high pressure in control. We're interested in tomorrow's rain. What does it show? Wow. Let's see. There it goes. Here comes the big band of rain, and it goes just south of us right now. So there's that potential, just a scattered shower or two. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. This is now 9 o'clock. All right, so let's go back an hour. There's 8 o'clock. 7 o'clock, it's going to be out there. It's going to be out on the horizon just across the state line. 8 o'clock, it's going to be close to the state line, just crossing. And by 9 o'clock, when I come back on the air, there should be a big batch of rain just to our south. Now, it's not going to take much to get us into that. This is the new run. And we'll be looking at the cameras, and we'll probably be trying to figure out where the rain is tomorrow, right? And then it goes by. We'll have lots of radar shots and stuff tomorrow to look at. And then 17Z, this is into the afternoon. So there's noon. Little slight chance for a shower later in the afternoon. But then it's gone. Everything's gone, and we're quiet after that. So. And then the next model starts to set up for Saturday's rains, which is a totally different forecast than what was previous when we started watching it 2 weeks ago to see if the wedding day on Saturday is going to be any good. And it went from looking great to Tuesday reversing itself and showing really terrible weather on a Saturday. Did you like that hand movement? I don't know if you saw that or not. Like it nice and smooth, everybody who's out there. We're looking at smooth weather. All right, so that was the precipitation. Now let's look at the temperatures. What are the temperatures going to do on the model here today and show us? What does it get up to? All right, it's going to show us probably at 68, right? So here we are at 21Z, which is usually the hottest, right? And it's just showing 67, but when you put the little cursor around there, you find 68 pretty easily. 68 all over the place around here. 66 is to 6. So very nice afternoon for us. Winds nearly dead calm. So good day to do just about anything outdoors today. Comfy. and then dropping off to somewhere in the around 50 to the 45 mark tonight. Let's see what it says now. It stopped itself around 47 tomorrow morning, all right, and actually starts to warm up a little bit. So that 47 comes at 5 in the morning, and then at 6 it's already starting to warm us up. 7, 8 it's rebounding very nicely, and then we top out at what tomorrow? Well, with the rain, it's making it tough on getting the temperature up there, but will we scratch our way into the lower 70s? Look at that. There's a 72 by tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock after the rain, as we got one batch of rain to the south, one batch of rain to our east, and we're kind of in between, and we get back up to like 72 tomorrow, so not bad. It's a little warmer than it was, but the model's still very consistent with where it was. I was more interested in where was the rain, and the rain was close to us by that time frame. And then here comes the rain for Saturday, unfortunately. Let me get back into the precipitation. There it is. Yep, there it is. Yep, there it is. Yep, there it is. All right, so that's the rain. That's the outlook for the next couple of days. We went through the extended forecasts on that. If you're still hanging with me, what is up with my Cubs? All right, now, I have not gone and bought Marquee Network. Maybe I need to go do that. But they're playing Atlanta. They're playing the other best team in the league. And when they played the Dodgers, they had to go out to the Dodgers too. And they lost 2 out of 3 out there. They've lost the first 2 at Atlanta. Hopefully they can pull one off today, win that third one, and then head in back to Wrigley. I'm not sure where they're going after that, but the Cubbies have been hurting my feelings here lately. All right, there's a snowplow out there on Covington on the interstate. Ah, look at this. There's some kind of road work. We did catch that out there on I-74. Looks like it's out to the east of Covington on I-74. I cannot tell you what direction. Yeah, I can. This is heading towards the west, is it not? Looks like it is right now, so that's where it is. We caught an accident out there, all right? And then you kind of see where the truck took some pictures. This is called, what is this, the name of this website? Let me go to the actual name of it first. There we go, and it plops 511IN India, which is Indiana, which they're trying to tell you where the snowplows are, but they show you all the cameras around the state. Here's a great shot of Logansport going into Logansport on this, and then let's do the car count out at Fowler, and we're back to zero. Back to 0 cars under beautiful blue skies. Who would not want to move out to Fowler? The traffic is very, very light out there all the time, and they have 4-lane highways all over the place out there. All right, so that's good news on there. Let's go through a couple of the other things in the little weather that I have in here. Some of you have maybe messed around with and seen the windy weather program. And windy weather, and it always comes up in Egypt for me because I was using it when Susie and I were in Egypt and Jordan and Israel, and for some reason it just comes back there. I don't know why it won't reset itself to here for me. Probably because I don't remember how to do the reset, all right? But this is kind of cool because it shows you your rains out here to the east for today, right? It shows you your flow, kind of gives you a good idea of where the winds are on everything. And it's all the same data. It's the same model data as what we were looking at before. So this is Thursday, right? And then we can kind of go out and hit whatever time frame we want. We look along here. We watch what does it say for the European model tomorrow, all right? So here's the European model for tomorrow. There's that batch of rain, right? On Friday midday. So this is 8 o'clock in the morning. We said it's going to be just coming across, and we come in a little closer. I think we can get Lafayette listed on there, crossing right there. For some reason, Logansport and Attica are more important than Lafayette. There we go. Okay, so there's the rains Friday midday. They do advance, and they try to just brush across us for about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, right? And then by 4 o'clock, they pretty much fall apart and they're gone, and we're good the rest of the day. That's why I'm saying ball games tomorrow night look good. But then we got showers and thunderstorms popping up on Saturday. This is the European model, and it shows rain potential by 7 a.m. Saturday morning. And then Saturday midday, we have showers and thunderstorms all over the place, especially southern Indiana by that time frame. And we can also see some temperatures are listed on here. And a big pocket of rain comes through us in the afternoon, it looks like, by this. All right, so you can zoom in and out on this very well. Shows us what's going on in each model front. I'm just going along into the evening. And where have we gotten? We've gotten into this west-east flow. You notice the thunderstorms, and they've been running along that. Let's go back a little bit. Look at where they're running. Right along that corridor right through the Midwest, right? So that's where the rain is moving during that time frame. And by Saturday, it's all over the place. And by, like, say, Sunday, let's go Sunday, 8 o'clock, there's a couple scattered showers around, but it's starting to make its move to the north, right? And it's taking all the weather to the north for a few days on us for Sunday afternoon into Monday, and Tuesday it's wanting to do that. And if I switch over to the brush, you can see this real easy. So there, everything's making its move to the north, where if you go back, to Saturday, and then we draw in, all the flow is right in here, right? And it's going like that. And you can see that it's trying to start to make its move to the north right here during that time frame. You go out a few hours and you get another flow. You still see it's kind of like through here, but you can see that it's trying to do that. Look at all these wind barbs going this way, and everything's going back now to a low that's back here. All right, and then there's another weak low coming off the mountains there. And then you go farther out, and you finally get to this flow where everything is north of us by Sunday afternoon. And Monday, we look at this. Monday and Tuesday, not much. Now, there is a line of thunderstorms popping up. This is Tuesday, 12 a.m. going into Tuesday morning. So, and then that wants to go skirt by to the north, at least by the European model. And then you got some scattered showers later in the day that pop up. And it knocks down everything that was in here. And it's going to reset itself up with another high-pressure system, but it's going to be a couple days. And then, so this goes out, and that's as far out as the European model goes on this, at least on their run here. They want you to pay for the long-range stuff, which I don't understand that. Most of us are looking at short-range as it is. So that's what you're seeing, at least on that front with that. And then, so windy's pretty cool. I like windy a lot. It can show us all kinds of different things. And so when you get to it, you can zoom in. You can look. I love the map of Lafayette around it and everything. And let's say we go back to Saturday, or even tomorrow, where the scattered rains are in the morning. Right here we are. At 11 o'clock, it shows a pretty good band at 10 o'clock in the morning, just off to our east. It's nice and clear, but out to the west is where the rain's coming from. So there's 6 in the morning, there's 9 in the morning, there's 10, and it's showing it approaching. And then we are on the outer edge of potential for showers. Not a great potential, and by 3 o'clock it's already passed, so it's moving pretty quickly, and our temperatures are trying to rebound. And sometimes I like looking at this to see different things. We're not seeing a ton there. The temperatures stayed about the same. We can come in pretty close here at times. Look at this. You can come in real close. You want to see a lot of temperatures around. And yes, this is model filling in temperatures in different places, like the city of Lafayette's 59, and you head out to Covington. Well, everything in between is 59, right? You go out to Earl Park, most everything is 59, but then Otterburn and Oxford are 57, and so something's creating some of those holes in there, but the model fills that in different places. And you can pick up your little towns. Brookson's 57. This is, what time is this? Friday night at 11 o'clock, 57 degrees, so it'll be chilly tomorrow night. Actually, this is probably normal for May, I would think. Not bad at all. All right. So, one last shot, the satellite picture, and it looks beautylicious, as we used to say. I don't know where that came from. Was that one of the movies from way back in our day in the 90s, which I never remember the name, so who cares anymore, right? Hi, right here. That's what is our big deal for today. High pressure. Big blue high means big blue sky, and it is going to be gorgeous. Nearly calm winds, very light winds, not much movement to get to temperatures. The warmth is coming up out here, and the cold is diving here, and we happen to be in between where the high is, which is kind of nice for today. And it's nice to have one of those days I don't have to think about a lot, right? You either. Go out, do some shopping. go out and do some gardening this afternoon. I'm going to try to get out in the slingshot. I'm going to try to move around a little bit today, maybe get a couple of those tasks done I got to get done, or at least get a grandson on them or two. All right. All right, that's it right now, guys. 56 degrees out there, on our way up to near 70 degrees by this afternoon. You enjoy your day, and I will see you what time? That is correct, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. See ya.